Welcome to Meter and Melody. I'm Marianne Minelski. I know that is a lot of M's, but make no mistake, meter and melody is about a lot more than alliteration in your lyrics. Every great song has a hidden geometry. In architecture, a line isn't just a mark, it's a boundary. And in songwriting, a meter isn't just a rhythm, it's a heartbeat. Meter and melody is about looking at a song and looking past the melodies and hooks that we love to find the architecture beneath the lyric. The meters, the stresses, the imagery and rhymes, all the choices that a writer makes that lead to the structures which create a song that sits inside you long after it's over. Today, we're taking the measure of Fast Car by Tracy Chapman. Some people hear Fast Car and feel a sense of nostalgia, whether they first heard Fast Car during its initial release or were introduced to the song through Luke Combs just a few years ago. To give you a sense of where I'm coming from, I think of seeing Tracy Chapman perform in the Conspiracy of Hope tour back in the 80s when I was still in school and had years of working in the film and record business ahead of me. When Fast Car was first released in 1988, most heard a modern take on folk music. But if you strip away the acoustic guitar, you find a blueprint of a very specific human condition, the velocity of poverty and alcohol abuse. And for everyone, the lyrics bring up a question we all face at some point, whether to stay in the place you were born or to venture out toward a different life, whether that was a choice you made years ago or you're early in your life in the middle of making those decisions now. We all face this fork in the road of our lives. From a poetry perspective, Fast Car is a narrative lyric, and in terms of song, we're looking at a specific theme of youth trying to escape. It's in the tradition of Bruce Springsteen's Born to Run, We Gotta Get Out of This Place by the Animals, and a bit like Jack and Diane by John Mellencamp, who gave us the keenly observed lyric, "Oh yeah, life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone." Woo! So let's look at some of the nuts and bolts of what Tracy uses to tell the story of Fast Car. And I'm going to put myself on a first-name basis with all the writers I discuss here. While most people focus on the folk rock melody and its signature acoustic riff, the architecture and progression of the lyrics is what creates that feeling of being trapped. In poetry and in lyrics, we are looking for pivot points. Let's start with the narrative progression and the pivot points where the story takes a turn.
You get a fast car, I want a ticket to anywhere. Maybe we make a deal. Maybe together we can get somewhere. Any place is better. Starting from zero, got nothing to lose. Maybe we'll make something. Me, myself, I got nothing to prove.
In the first verse, we've got a couple of things going on. The first is that Tracy establishes that this is not a love song with the lyric, "You got a fast car, I want a ticket to anywhere. Maybe we can make a deal. Maybe together we can get somewhere." So her theme and its narrative struggle are established right at the top. And another thing going on is something that I love. The song starts with a strong rhyme scheme. What I love is that this first verse is on the dime rhyme, but then the rhyme scheme basically is gone for the rest of the song, and we hear some vowel and slant rhyming here and there. And I love that about this song because we've all written that first verse or the first stanza of a poem, and we've been inspired and it's beautiful, but then we're not done with our lyrics or poem, and we find the rhyme is hard to maintain and match. But in songwriting, maintaining the rhyme isn't strictly necessary. So to all my songwriters out there, do not let a rhyme scheme become a cage. If the truth of the story outgrows the rhyme, follow the story. Lyric architecture, all architecture, it's supposed to serve the inhabitant, not the other way around. And lastly, the other small linguistic flourish that Tracy uses in the first verse is, "Me, myself, I got nothing to prove." Now, I've never heard anybody say "me, myself, I" in a way that is not insecure. So we know that the narrator has some timidness, and this feeling is reflected in the chorus, which we'll get to in a minute.
You get a fast car, I got a plan to get us out of here. Been working at the convenience store. Managed to save just a little bit of money, won't have to drive too far. Just cross the border and into the city. You and I can both get jobs and finally see what it means to be living.
In the second verse, we have a nice choice of words that forces the phrasing and the singer to sing them quickly. And considering the words that Tracy uses at those points, this forcing of it is it's to very good effect, and it puts the urgency of the narrator in the right spot.
I got a plan to get us out of here. Been working at the convenience store. Managed to save just a little bit of money. Won't have to drive too far. Just cross the border and into the city. You and I can both get jobs and finally see what it means to be living.
I got a plan to get us out of here. Just cross the border and into the city. And because they're slightly longer lines, they have to be phrased quickly. And that quickness is what adds to the urgency. By the third verse, we've got a bit of a pivot and the narrative is progressing.
See, my old man's got a problem. Yeah, but the bottle, that's the way it is. He says his body's too old for working. His body's too young to look like his. My mama went off and left him. She wanted more from life than he could give. I said, somebody's got to take care of him. So I quit school and that's what I did.
The narrator starts right off with, see, here's a problem. And we learn she's trapped by responsibility in addition to the grinding velocity of poverty. And right after this, Tracy hits the bridge of the song, which she varies and uses again to land the song at the end. But first,
you got a fast car. Is it fast enough so we can fly away? We gotta make a decision. Leave tonight or live and die this way.
And then we go right to the chorus.
So I remember when we were driving in your car. Speed so fast I felt like I was drunk. City lights stay out before us, and your arm felt nice wrapped around my shoulder. And I had a feeling that I belonged. I had a feeling I could be someone.
Here are 4 wonderful things about this chorus. Driving, said twice, in your car. It gives a sense of urgency and momentum. Wrapped round my shoulder is a bit of a tongue twister when you sing it or say it, but it serves as a wee bit of an onomatopoeia. That R sound is the sound of a car engine. And Tracy could have just as easily written, your arm felt nice around my shoulder in the same space and accomplished the same idea, but that wrapped round adds a little bit more poetry. And then we get to the I had a feeling that I belonged. I had a feeling I could be someone. The stuttering and that I is tied to the same insecurity of me, myself, I got nothing to prove. So it says a lot about the narrator of the song. And lastly, the final gorgeous thing to notice in this chorus is the contrast between driving, and I. One gives a sense of propulsion and the other is stuttering. Then we are back to a verse, a chorus, and another verse, and a final chorus, and the narrative progresses.
You got a fast car. We go cruise and entertain ourselves. Still ain't got a job. Now work in the market as a checkout girl. I know things will get better. You'll find work and I'll get promoted. We'll move out of the shelter, buy a bigger house and live in the suburbs. So I remember when we were driving in your car. Speed so fast I felt like I was drunk. City lights lay out before us, and your arm felt nice wrapped around my shoulder. And I had a feeling that I belonged. I had a feeling I could be someone. You got a fast car. I got a job that pays all our bills. Instead of drinking late at the bar, see more your friends than you do your kids. I'd always hope for better. Thought maybe together you and me'd find it. I got no plans, I ain't going nowhere. Take your fast car and keep on driving.
We hear the narrator go from, I know things will get better, to I always hoped for better. It shows how making a small change in lyrics can move your narrative forward. And then we get to the final pivot where she uses and changes the bridge brilliantly with,
You got a fast car. Is it fast enough so you can fly away? You gotta make a decision. Leave tonight or live and die this way.
So Tracy has moved the narration from we can fly away and we got to make a decision to you fly away and you got to make a decision. And in doing that, Tracy lands that final punch of the story. Overall, Fast Car is a masterclass in narrative pacing and the longing for a moving vehicle in an unmoving life. And it's got a fantastic use and reuse of the bridge with the spin. It's such a moving song about stasis and the story of someone running as fast as they can just to stay in the same place. Tracy Chapman didn't just write a folk song, she built a vehicle. So next time you listen, I hope you appreciate the measure of the lyric architecture. Now, consider looking at what's in progress in your notebook. Does Fast Car inspire you to write a lyric about the theme of cars and freedom and escape? Or do you want to try sprinkling some onomatopoeia into a lyric? Or do you just want to give narrative a spin? I'm Marianne Manilski, and you can find the full blueprint and my lyric worksheets at meterandmelody.mariannemanilski.com. Now go write your best lyric ever, and I'll see you next time in the lab.